Chiamaka was born in a small village nestled in the heart of Africa, a place where the sun painted the sky in hues of orange and gold every evening. She was a vibrant child, full of life and curiosity. But her world was turned upside down when her mother passed away. Her father remarried a woman named Susanna, who treated Chiamaka with harshness and cruelty. As the days turned into months, Susanna's maltreatment of Chiamaka only worsened. The young girl was made to do all the household chores, given barely enough food to survive, and often slept on the cold floor. Despite her hardships, Chiamaka remained resilient, finding solace in the memories of her loving mother. One fateful night, Susanna's cruelty reached its peak. After a particularly brutal beating, Chiamaka knew she couldn't endure any more suffering. She decided to flee, leaving behind the only home she had ever known. With nothing but the clothes on her back, she ran into the dark forest, tears streaming down her face. The forest was both frightening and beautiful. Chiamaka stumbled through the thick underbrush until she could go no further. Exhausted, she collapsed under a large baobab tree. As she drifted into sleep, she was unaware that she was being watched by curious eyes. When Chiamaka awoke, she found herself surrounded by animals of all kinds. To her surprise, they did not harm her. Instead, they seemed to welcome her. A wise old elephant named Jabari approached her and, to her astonishment, spoke in a gentle voice, offering her protection and shelter. Under the guidance of Jabari and the other animals, Chiamaka learned to navigate the forest. She discovered which plants were safe to eat, how to find water, and ways to protect herself from danger. The animals became her family, and she grew stronger and more self-reliant with each passing day. In the heart of the forest, Chiamaka found a new sense of belonging. She formed close bonds with the animals, particularly with a mischievous monkey named Kofi and a graceful gazelle named Amara. Together, they shared stories, laughter, and the simple joys of life in the wild. As the seasons changed, Chiamaka faced her first winter in the forest. The cold was unlike anything she had experienced before, but with the help of her animal friends, she built a sturdy shelter and gathered enough food to see her through the harsh months. With each challenge she faced, Chiamaka grew stronger and more resilient. She learned to hunt, to defend herself, and to navigate the forest with ease. The girl who had once been afraid and helpless was now a fierce and capable young woman. Though she had found peace in the forest, Chiamaka never forgot the pain and suffering she endured at the hands of Susanna. As she grew older, a desire for revenge began to take root in her heart. She vowed that one day she would return to her village and make Susanna pay for her cruelty. One night, Chiamaka had a vivid dream. In it, she saw herself returning to her village, not as a helpless girl, but as a powerful woman. An old shaman appeared in her dream, telling her that her destiny was to bring justice to her past and to restore balance to her life. Determined to fulfill her destiny, Chiamaka began to prepare for her journey back to the village. She trained harder, honed her skills, and gathered the support of her animal friends. They would accompany her, providing strength and protection as she faced her past. The day finally came for Chiamaka to leave the forest. With a heavy heart, she bid farewell to the place that had been her sanctuary and to the friends who had become her family. Jabari, Kofi, and Amara promised to stay by her side until her mission was complete. Chiamaka and her animal companions set out on their journey, making their way through dense forests, across rivers, and over mountains. Along the way, they encountered various challenges, but their bond and determination saw them through. After weeks of travel, they finally reached the outskirts of Chiamaka's village. As they approached, memories of her past flooded her mind. She steeled herself, knowing that the moment of reckoning was near. The villagers were shocked to see Chiamaka return. Many had assumed she was dead, lost to the forest forever. Whispers spread quickly, and soon everyone knew that the once helpless girl had come back, strong and unbroken. Stay tuned for the revenge of Chiamaka to Susanna. Chiamaka's return to the village was shrouded in secrecy. She observed from the shadows, learning that Susanna had continued her reign of terror. Her father, Obina, was a shadow of his former self, weakened by years of mistreatment. Chiamaka vowed to liberate him and the village from Susanna's grip. Reuniting with her childhood friends, now grown, Chiamaka found allies who were ready to stand against Susanna. She shared her story, and they devised a plan to expose Susanna's cruelty. Her animal companions aided in gathering information, their keen senses and agility proving invaluable. Chiamaka's heart ached as she saw her father's condition. Obina was frail and broken, a stark contrast to the strong, loving man she remembered. She knew that confronting Susanna directly could endanger him further. Instead, she and her allies began to subtly undermine Susanna's authority, eroding her power bit by bit. Chiamaka's nights were filled with dreams of revenge. She recalled every moment of pain, every tear shed, and channeled that into her plan. The forest animals provided solace and strength, their presence a reminder of her resilience and the bonds she had formed. Acts of sabotage continued, tools went missing, food spoiled unexpectedly, and whispers of Susanna's cruelty spread through the village. Susanna, growing increasingly paranoid, began to unravel. Susanna's grip on reality weakened as strange events plagued her daily life. She suspected everyone and trusted no one. The once confident tyrant now lived in constant fear, unaware of Chiamaka's presence. Obina's condition worsened, fueling Chiamaka's urgency. She knew she had to act swiftly to save him and expose Susanna. The villagers, noticing his decline, began to question Susanna's care. Chiamaka's efforts began to sow seeds of doubt among the villagers. They started to question Susanna's integrity and competence. Small acts of defiance against Susanna emerged, weakening her control. Chiamaka and her allies collected evidence of Susanna's cruelty. Witnesses came forward, sharing their stories of abuse and manipulation. This growing body of evidence would be crucial in exposing Susanna. The forest animals played a vital role in Chiamaka's plan. These acted as messengers, spies, and saboteurs, using their unique abilities to aid her cause. The bond between Chiamaka and the animals grew even stronger. Susanna's suspicion turned into obsession. She sensed that someone was out to get her but couldn't identify the source. Her attempts to uncover the saboteurs only led to more mistakes and increased paranoia. Chiamaka confronted Susanna in secret, revealing herself but keeping her identity hidden. The confrontation was tense, with Susanna unable to recognize the girl she had tormented. Chiamaka's words planted further doubt and fear in Susanna's mind. The villagers, inspired by Chiamaka's actions, began to rise against Susanna. They demanded answers and justice for Obina and Chiamaka. Susanna, feeling the pressure, lashed out, only to further alienate herself. Chiamaka revealed herself to her father, who was overjoyed and heartbroken. Obina's spirits lifted as he learned the truth about Susanna's cruelty. This revelation gave him the strength to stand against Susanna, supported by Chiamaka and the villagers. Chiamaka called for a village gathering to present the evidence against Susanna. The villagers, now united in their distrust of Susanna, attended in large numbers. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation. Chiamaka and her allies presented the evidence of Susanna's cruelty. Witnesses shared their stories, and the physical evidence spoke volumes. Susanna, faced with undeniable proof, tried to defend herself but failed miserably. In a desperate attempt to salvage her position, Susanna tried to manipulate the villagers. She played the victim, accusing Chiamaka of plotting against her. But the villagers, armed with the truth, were unmoved by her lies. Chiamaka stood tall, confronting Susanna publicly. She recounted her suffering, her escape, and her journey back. Her courage and determination inspired the villagers, who rallied behind her. The villagers demanded justice for Chiamaka and Obina. They called for Susanna to be removed from power and held accountable for her actions.
Hope you all enjoyed this beautiful African folktale story. Please do not forget to subscribe, comment, like and share, and turn on the notification bells for more exciting stories.